Hello, welcome to Summit 2, Unit 4B, Personality and Life. This is your web class. Unit 4, Expressions related to anger. After Unit 4, you will be able to describe your shortcomings, talk about ways to manage the stress and go over it, discuss how you are able to handle anger, and describe your values that are the ones that have helped you make good decisions. Here we are, some vocabulary exponents. Let's talk about them. To hold it back. It means to stop oneself from feeling a particular emotions. Example, experts say that if you're upset about something, you shouldn't hold it back. Let people know how you feel. Next example, keep it in. This is another exponent. It means to avoid expressing one's feelings. Example, I never like showing my anger. I prefer just to keep it in. Next vocabulary exponent, let it go or shrunk it off. It means decide not to be bothered by something. Example given. He said some pretty insulting things to me, but I just decided to let it go. Or I just decided to shrunk it off. Next one, let off steam. It means to get rid on one's anger in a way that does not harm anyone. For example, by doing something active. Example given. Running after work really helps me let off steam. I always feel better afterwards. Next one, to lose one's temper. Suddenly become so angry that one cannot control oneself. An example. I never see Magali lose her temper. I've never seen Magali lose her temper like that. I was really surprised. Next exponent. Make an issue out of something. Argue about something others don't think it's important. Example given. I didn't like the way she was talking to me, but I didn't want to make an issue out of it. Next exponent. Say what's on one's mind. It is to say what one is thinking about. Look. Example. I know you're angry with me. Why don't you just say what's on your mind? Next one. Take it out on someone. It means treat someone badly because one is angry or tired. Example given. When my job is getting to me, I really try not to take it out on my kids. Next, tell someone off. It means to talk angrily to a person who has done something wrong. Example, I was so mad at this rude writer that I decided to tell him off. I mean, who does he think he is? Okay, so in Unit 4B, how to handle anger. Here we have some piece of advice. Well, these questions are for you. If a friend were late for a date with me, how would you handle your anger? Situation 2. If I told a friend or colleague something in confidence and he or she didn't keep it a secret, if a colleague talked about me behind my back, if someone lied to me about something that I thought was really important, if someone cut me off while I was driving, if someone borrowed something from me and didn't return it, if my next door neighbor played very loud music and had late night parties. Okay, so how would you handle your anger about these situations? Okay, now let's talk about vocabulary. Here we have some collocations that may help you express how someone feels. Make someone happy, make someone nervous, or make someone crazy. Make a decision to do something. Make do with something. Make a difference. Make a choice between two things. Make a change. Make sense to do something. Make sure to do something. Okay, here we have a challenging exercise. We are going to circle the correct collocation for the following text. For most people, it doesn't make sense or it doesn't make a choice to work long hours, live a hectic life, and never be able to spend time with friends and family. Such a lifestyle doesn't bring happiness. On the contrary, it can make a change or it can make a person miserable. Nevertheless, very few people make a decision or make sure to quit their job and start a new life. This may be explained by the fact that it isn't easy to make a choice between or make do with money and quality of life. If you quit your job, you'll have to make a choice between or make do with fewer material possessions. Those who've decided to make a change or make a difference like this don't seem to regret it. They say enjoying the pleasures of everyday life like going out for walks or sitting in the sun makes a choice or makes a difference in their lives. Okay, yes, let's talk about it. Okay, let's go with the answers. For most people, it doesn't make a sense to work long hours, like live a hectic life and never be able to spend time with their friends and family. Such a lifestyle doesn't bring happiness. On the contrary, it can make a person miserable. Nevertheless, very few people make a decision or make a decision, pretty good, to quit their job and start a new life. This may be explained by the fact that it isn't easy to make a choice between money and quality of life. If you quit your job, you'll have to make do with fewer material possessions. Those who've decided to make a change like this don't seem to regret it. They say enjoying the pleasures of everyday life, like going out for walks or sitting down in the sun, makes a difference in their lives. Very good job. Okay, now let's go to the next image. Let's erase these marks. Okay, pretty good. Let's continue. Lesson 2, grammar. Now we are going to talk about the subjunctive for a verb that is used in non-clauses following verbs or adjectives of urgency, obligation, or advisability. Here we go. Grammar, the subjunctive. The subjunctive form of verb is used in non-clauses following verbs or adjectives of urgency, obligation, or advisability. The subjunctive form is always the same as the base form, no matter what the time frame is. Example given. The doctor suggested she exercise more and not work on weekends. The incorrect one could be the doctor suggested she exercises more and doesn't work on weekends. Another erroneous one is the doctor suggested she exercised more and didn't work on weekends. Another example, it's important that you be aware of the sources of stress in your life. The error could be, it is important that you are aware of the sources of stress in your life. When the verb in the noun clause is in the passive voice, the subjunctive form is be plus a past participle. Example, psychologists recommend we be trained to cope with stress. The wrong one. Psychologists recommend we are trained to cope with stress. Remember that noun clauses following verbs and adjectives that don't express urgency, obligation, or advisability don't need the subjunctive. Example, psychologists agree that too much conflict is harmful to relations. Here we are managing the verb agree. It doesn't talk about urgency, obligation, or advisability. So the verb that we are going to use, the form, is not the subjunctive. Okay, so next example. It's true that he finds his current position very demanding. The verb that we are managing here is to be. So we are not talking about urgency, obligation, or advisability. What are the verbs that talk about urgency, obligation, and advisability? Okay, here we have some. The verbs are demand, insist, propose, request, recommend, suggest. And the adjectives are critical, crucial, desirable, essential, important, and necessary, among others. Okay, let's continue. Okay, now let's talk about some infinitive and gerund phrases in the place of the subjunctive. It is often possible to use an infinitive phrase after adjectives of urgency, obligation, or advisability with almost the same meaning as the subjunctive. Example, It is essential that you find the time each day to relax. Another one, a similar one, is it is essential for John to find the time each day to relax. It is also often possible to use a gerund phrase after verbs of urgency, obligation, or advisability with almost the same meaning as the subjunctive. Example given. Dr. Sharp recommends that you spend a few moments relaxing. Similar one, Dr. Sharp recommends spending a few moments relaxing. Note that when an infinitive or gerund phrase is used without a pronoun, it usually refers to people in general. Example given. It is essential to find the time each day to relax. Another example, Dr. Sharp recommends spending a few moments relaxing. Okay, thank you for watching this video. We hope it has been useful for you. If you have some more doubts, contact your tutor or your monitor. Don't forget to work with the exercises and activities in the platform. Meet you at your conversation class.